Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to another episode of the 757 Renaissance Man podcast. I got my partner here, Mr. JB Harrison. Man, Harrison, I am so glad to have you here. Like, we both have been on this content creation journey this last year. And I'm proud to see your come ups, man.
Well, look, man, I appreciate it. I'm just trying to keep up with you, brother. That's all that is. I'm trying to keep up. You know, it's hard, but I'm watching you, man. I'm seeing how you move, and I'm like, yo, I'm just trying to keep up with you, man. And so, matter of fact, when I first started this thing, you was one of the first cats I reached out to. You know what I mean? And so I reached out, you know, and we've been working on, you know, trying to get this thing together for a minute. You know, kind of ran into each other a couple spaces here and there. But yeah, man, I appreciate you, man, having me on. Let me crash at your spot.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And with that said, man, I'm proud because I've seen the growth from both of us. And, you know, you said what you said about me, but you inspired me to keep me, you know, on my toes. Like, yeah, I can't slip JB comment.
Listen, man. Listen, I'm just sitting back, bro. I think for me, a lot of times, I'm a perfectionist to a point, and my wife hates that about me because something can be the best, and I'm still going to find something that I need to fix. And for that, I'm always trying to, I think for me, I'm always competing with myself as well. Because I'm just always I'm always trying to get better. I always want to be better. But like I said, sometimes it's to a fault, but we're just trying to get there, man.
Yeah, man. So I want to talk to you and have you kind of tell your story, because I know it started way before podcasting. Kind of give the people a brief history of what got you to this point.
Oh man, listen. I've done a lot of things. I have done a lot of things here in the area. I've done radio.
It's funny talking to somebody like you because I know you and I know this, so I got to shut up and let you tell it.
Man, I've done radio. I owned a record store. I've done artist management. I've done tour management. I've done promotions. Now I'm doing the podcast thing. I've done voiceovers, commercials. I've done a million different things. But I will say that even with all of the things that I've done, that I enjoyed the journey for each and every one. I've managed artists from cats that have done, as you see, man, I'm fighting with these daggone Indians. I've managed artists. I worked with some of the best here locally. I've consulted artists, but I've enjoyed it, man. And continue to do. I still do stuff on the side. One thing that I was told, one of my guests said, you know, if you have a side hustle, keep doing it, especially if it's successful. And I've had some very successful side hustles, and I've also had some that weren't as successful. But the good thing about it was I was still living at home with my parents when a lot of things that I did, so that way, if it hit me too hard, I still had a place to stay. Things are different now, though. I got my own spot with my wife and kids, so it's a whole nother situation now. So You got to move differently now.
Right. So how does that change your situation now? How does that change your purpose?
Well, I'm more calculated now with the things that I do. It has to make sense. And on top of it having to make sense, my wife, my boss also lets me know that it has to make sense.
Yeah.
Uh,
Hold on.
you
No,
know what I
hold
mean?
on. We want to say that again.
My, excuse me, my boss slash my wife, she also helps me to make sure that it makes sense.
Yeah.
Because when it comes to creatives, man, and the way our brains, the way we're wired, a lot of times we'll just go. Like we'll have an idea
Mhm.
and just run with it. And it may not necessarily make a lot of financial sense from the beginning, but a lot of times you're just kind of thinking about the end game of what it could be.
Mhm.
And so for me, always had to have somebody to kind of rein me in and rein that part of my creativity in, just so that it makes sense. So that way I'm not spending uh, all my money. And then the most valuable thing in the world, which is time,
Mhm.
because I'm, you can have all the money in the world. You can always get money. One thing you can never get back is time. So spending all that time on trying to make something and create something that ultimately, uh, you know, just doesn't really work out, doesn't really pan out.
Yeah.
And so it's always good to have somebody in your corner that's going to kind of hold you to that.
All right. So let's get into it. I want to talk about your podcast, Mind Your Business. What was the what was the creative what was the spark? What made you think that, there is a definite need and I want to fill this need with my podcast?
Well, I think for me, it's because of one, I've been there.
Mm.
I've done a lot of things. I was doing the whole entrepreneurship game for a long time. And a lot of people would see the things that I do and always thought that I was successful at it. But a lot of times they never really knew the backstory behind it.
Mm.
Um, or friends of mine that are entrepreneurs. A lot of people see the outward and what they have or what has happened since they started, but a lot of times they don't know the backstory.
Mhm.
They don't know
They don't see the work.
what it took.
Mhm.
Yeah, they don't know what it took to get to that place. And so I find myself able to have conversations with entrepreneurs, the ones that are doing it, as well as the ones that want to do it.
Mhm.
And so ultimately, it's being able to empower those that want to do it with the tools that it takes in order to get it done. And so it's just having these candid conversations with entrepreneurs, creatives, influencers, and business owners, having these conversations so that way we can keep the next generation or the future ones that are coming up,
Mhm.
keep them from losing their homes, their relationships, their families, cars, that whole deal.
Out of all the people you've talked to during this last year, what was your favorite episode?
I'm not doing that. No, sir. Not at all. You won't get me, brother.
Okay.
I will say that
Mhm.
out of each person in each episode that we have had, I got value out of every single conversation.
Mhm.
Now, I will say that, because I was a fan of, I'm the type of person that I enjoy being able to have conversations with people.
Mhm.
I had to get to that place because I'll be honest with you, for a long time, I didn't really like people. I didn't like grown-ups. I didn't like adults. I'm being honest.
Right.
I was just at that place to where I could do business with you. We could be cordial, but a lot of times I was just, I just, I'd rather stay to myself, do what I had to do, get it done, and keep it moving.
Mhm.
But I had to get to the place to where One, I had to begin to trust more. For me, I've always had trust issues, and ultimately that impacted a lot of relationships that I've had.
Hmm.
Um, but a lot of times you got to get over those trust issues in order to even open yourself up to have the conversations with someone, wanting to reach out to someone. But you got to kind of get over that. And so I've had some great conversations, man, with some great individuals. Um, Out of all of the ones that I've had conversations with, I've gotten value out of every single one. But I will say, I've been a fan of Miss Barbara Hamley for a very long time.
Hmm.
She hosts a show called Another View. It's on like the NPR, the public radio station. And so I was able to have her on the show. And because I was always a fan of hers, and I've always been a fan of her show, and I've always listened. I was probably like a little kid, man, when I had her on the show.
Yeah.
Even my wife was like, "Oh, look at you! You just don't know what to do with yourself." I was like, "Yeah, babe, I'm just being honest. I don't."
Yeah. Yeah, I
But
think for me, one of my favorites, and I'm not going to say, I'm with you. I'm not going to say
yeah,
this
man,
is my
don't do it, bro.
absolute favorite episode, but one of the ones I'm most proud of was my conversation with Mr. Chester Benton,
Mhm.
because this is kind of, that's, he unwittingly put me on this path back in the day, because he used to be the program director for WRP back in the day.
Wait, WRAP
Yes, WRAP
with
AM
hold on.
850.
We talking about the rap attack
Yes, H.J. Ellison.
with H.J. Ellison.
4:00. Got off the
Straight
bus
out
at
school.
3, kicked it for a few minutes.
Got to the house.
Got to the house at 4:00. Right.
Yeah,
That was his brainchild. And he tells how they came up with the rap attack. And he tells that it was not an accident, that it was 4:00, and that we had the reaction that we did getting off the bus. They planned
Bruh.
that, and being able to have that conversation and have him and say he's on my show. And he built, WRP was the first nationwide, the first all rap radio station in the nation. Even before, and he was a program director at K-Day in LA.
But listen, I don't know if you remember. Did you shed a tear the day when you found out that they were shutting the station down?
Oh yeah, man! I just was over there the other day, and they tore it down.
Nah, I didn't know that, man.
Oh, it's gone. The building is not even there anymore.
So it's funny that you say that, because when I was working, so I used to work AM radio, AM radio, gospel station. And one day I came into work, and there was a guy there they had just hired. He came in. I was young too. I was real young. I was probably
WPCE?
WTJZ.
Okay.
So I was young. I think I just got out of high school. I hired this guy. So I come in, I'm coming to work. I used to work like the late night. And they were like, "Hey, just want to introduce you to the guy. This is H.J. Ellison."
Okay.
So I stopped.
Yeah.
I said, "Hold on, man. You're H.J. Ellison." He was like, "Yeah, how you doing, man?" I was like, wait. The H.J. Ellison and he was like, yeah, man, listen. I almost had a fit in there. I think I hugged him. I don't even know what I did, man. But it was just true story, man. But
that's a real serious. If you grew up in the 757 during the time we grew up, that was major.
Yeah.
That was major.
I've been blessed to be able to have some really great conversations with some really great people in our community and outside of our community as well. And the podcast is doing well, but ultimately, man, it's about the conversations that I'm able to sit down and have the candid conversations to where you have people that are talking about finances. They're talking about how much money they spent in order to get this business off the ground. They're talking about how their first marriages failed because they were so focused on the business and um, they couldn't balance the business and family.
Mhm.
And so ultimately, man, it's just about keeping the next business owner or the next creative from that. Just I don't want that to happen to nobody else, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And you touch my heart too, because both of our shows are very 757 centric.
Yeah, yeah,
And like I said, bro, you make me proud, man. Just seeing your work, just seeing the growth, just seeing your work ethic, just the come up just from I remember the first show to now.
Oh man, yeah, it was bad, but yeah,
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't.
it was a great guess, just a bad show.
Wait, but you learned though.
Yes, and I think that's the thing, man, is being able to see your progression and your
Right.
growth.
Because I'm not going to
You,
front. I go back and look at my first couple shows and I'm like, yeah. What the hell was I thinking?
right, yeah, man, yeah. So when you're able to see, and I think for me, that's kind of my measuring stick is when I could see progression and growth, then I know I'm heading in the right direction.
Yeah.
If everything stayed the same, and here I am in like I think I'm coming up on the 50th episode, and if everything stayed the same and there was no progression, then there would be a problem.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah. All right. So I ain't going to keep you long tonight, man. I had to have you before I wrap this season
Well,
up. I
well,
had
well
to
hold
have
on,
you
man.
on. Go
Wait,
ahead.
wait,
Go ahead.
wait, wait, wait. So why I can't stay on longer? Why is this episode so short? Huh?
So you trying to pull out that Dallas game
Uh,
about to come
let's
on.
gonna be honest, man. Let's keep it real. Let's be honest. Why is this episode so short? Huh?
Yeah, we about to have that Dallas game, baby.
Well, listen. This is what I don't want to happen.
Mm.
I don't want you to mess around and get your heart broke tonight.
Oh Lord.
I'm just saying. Listen, man. I care about you.
Right.
You know what I
right,
mean?
right.
We're brothers. I just don't want that to happen to you, man. I know how you guys get around this time of the year. I know
Yeah.
the expectation is,
But it helps this year we're in first, so that helps.
bruh, it's the worst division in the league.
Hey, I'd rather be first and the worst than last and the best.
Well, let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
Is the goal of your team just to be the first in the division? We got to change goals, man.
No.
We got to set the bar a little higher.
Right. We want to go to the Super Bowl, but we've been there a couple times. I'm cool with that. But realistically, I know.
How old were you when they went to the Super Bowl?
What they went in 90. What's the last time? It was 90 something?
You were how old at that time?
Ooh.
Yeah, we'll just stop right there. Don't even worry about it.
That's hard math, right?
Yeah,
We
that
gotta
math-
carry the
that math right
one,
there is
zero.
Tough. Yeah, that's tough right there, man. But so I will say this, man. I appreciate you letting me, hang out. We'll figure something out, man, and we'll do it again. We may just need to hop on and talk sports or something. I don't know.
I
We'll
feel
figure it
some
out.
collaborations coming on.
But we'll figure something out, man. But yeah, man.
And I wanna invite you, or you may not know, I started what was called the Content Creators of Color Collective. And it's a group that we're based out of Clubhouse. But we created a podcast in 5 days, and we did a 30-day challenge in October where we
Okay.
created one episode every day for the month of October.
Oh man.
So I would like to invite you for the next go around, and we're thinking about doing it sometime in February.
Hey man, listen, brother. Let me know, but understand February. It's a crazy time. February, you got Black History Month.
Oh yeah, and my
And
birthday.
you got hey, listen, your birthday, and you got Valentine's Day,
Yeah.
and I'm married. So
Oh
then
yeah, that's
there's
part
a
of
whole
the
different
challenge.
expectation.
That's exactly
Yeah.
that's part of the challenge. Challenge.
Yeah, challenge. Yeah, that's something, man. We can look into that, man. But I appreciate the invitation, man, for sure.
I gotta have you on there. I gotta have some hometown representation.
Yeah, man. Well, let me know what I need to do, man, and I'm there.
All right, brother. I love you, man.
Hey, love you too. Good luck tonight, bro.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to a special edition of the 757 Renaissance Man podcast. You can catch this episode audio and video at 757renaissanceman.com. If you want to support the show, go ahead and click the Buy Me a Coffee link. And I think that's going to be it for right now.
That's it. Hey, you gonna really need a coffee after this game, too.
Oh, bro, I got one ready. Got a little something stronger than coffee. Wait,
Man, yes, sir, man. I appreciate you, man.
All right, bro. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, this is the 757 Renaissance Man. I'm Sean. That's JB, and we out. Peace.